All right, if you're an aspiring developer, you've probably hit this wall. What tech stack should I actually learn? It's a huge decision, right? It pretty much sets the foundation for your whole career. So today, we're going to break it all down. We're putting three heavyweights in the ring: Java, Python, and the MERN Stack.
So, which one's it going to be? Java, Python, or MERN? This is the big question, and honestly, it can feel pretty overwhelming. Are you picturing yourself in a big corporate office? Or maybe a fast-paced startup? Or are you all about building the next cool thing on the web? Well, the answer really comes down to which of these powerful stacks you decide to master. Okay, before we really dive in and compare these three, let's make sure we're all on the same page. You'll hear the term full stack a lot. All it means is that you work on both the front end, the part the user actually sees and interacts with, and the back end, which is the server-side stuff, the engine that does all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. You're building the whole thing from top to bottom.
All right, now that we've got that covered, let's meet our contenders. Each of these stacks has its own personality, its own philosophy, and honestly, it opens up a totally different set of career doors.
First up in the ring, we've got the titan of the enterprise world. This is the powerhouse behind so many of the huge, critical applications you see out there. I'm talking about the Java full stack.
So what's actually in a Java stack? Well, let's pop the hood. The whole ecosystem is super structured and robust. The back end, of course, is built on Java. The front end uses the usual suspects: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, often with a framework like Angular or React. But the real heart of it is the Spring framework, especially Spring Boot. That's kind of the gold standard for building these massive, secure, enterprise-level apps. And it all plugs into these super reliable databases like MySQL or Oracle. You can think of it as a fortress of stability.
Next up, we have the Challenger. This one's known for being incredibly versatile and super easy to read. It's the darling of both startups and data scientists. Let's talk about the Python full stack.
Python's whole deal is flexibility. Seriously. On the back end, you've got options. You can go with Django, which is this batteries-included framework that gives you everything you need for big projects right out of the box. Or you could pick something more minimalist, like Flask, for smaller apps. And then there's Fast API, which is awesome for building, well, fast APIs. That flexibility even extends to the database. Python plays nice with traditional ones like Postgres and also modern NoSQL databases like MongoDB. And for our final contender, we have the modern lightning-fast specialist. This is the stack that speaks one language, and one language only, from the front end all the way to the back end. Say hello to the MERN Stack.
So MERN is actually an acronym, which makes it easy to remember. You've got M for MongoDB, which is the database, E for Express.js, the backend framework, R for React.js on the front end, and N for Node.js, which is the server environment. But here's the magic trick: it's all JavaScript. Using one language for everything creates this super smooth, efficient workflow. It's pretty much perfect for building those slick, modern, single-page applications that feel more like a desktop app than a website.
Okay, so we've met the players, we know what they're all about. Now for the fun part. Let's put them head-to-head and see how they really stack up.
And this is where you can really start to see the differences. Let's talk performance first. For just raw power in those huge enterprise systems, Java is an absolute beast. But then you have MERN, which is incredibly fast when it comes to I/O. That's input and output. So for things like chat apps, where there's a ton of real-time data flying back and forth, MERN really shines. Now what about learning? Python, with its simple syntax, is hands down the easiest to pick up for beginners. Java, on the other hand, is a bit stricter, so the learning curve is steeper. And that best for row, that's your big clue right there. Think big corporate systems? Go Java. Passionate about AI and startups? Python's your friend. Want to build slick modern web apps? MERN is the way to go. But look, the tech is only half the picture, right? A tech stack isn't just a bunch of tools. It's a key that unlocks totally different career paths. So let's get to the part I know you're all waiting for: the jobs and, of course, the money. It's pretty amazing how these stacks really do dominate different worlds. You want to work for a big bank, an insurance company, or some huge global corporation? Java is your most direct route in for sure. But what if you're dreaming of a fast-moving startup, or you want to get into the incredible fields of AI and machine learning? That's where Python is absolutely exploding. And if your goal is to build the actual products that users interact with at tech companies big and small, MERN is definitely the hot ticket right now.
Now, what about salary? The big takeaway here is that you can have a fantastic, successful career with any of these. This chart gives you an idea of the salary ranges in India, just as an example.
You'll see Java sometimes has a slightly higher top end, and that's usually because it's so dominant in those high-stakes corporate jobs. But the demand for Python in data science and MERN in web dev is so strong that they all offer amazing earning potential. So really, the crucial question isn't which one pays more, it's which field do I want to be in. Okay, so we've looked at the tech, the careers, and the potential salary. Now we got to put it all together. How do you actually make the right choice for you?
It really just boils down to this. Which of these paths gets you excited? If the idea of a stable career building large, super robust systems for big companies sounds great, then your answer is Java. If you're fascinated by the future of tech, things like AI and data, and you love moving fast, then Python is calling your name. And if you just love the web and want to build the coolest, fastest, most modern apps out there, then it's got to be MERN.
And I really want you to remember this, because it's the most important part. There's no wrong answer here. There isn't a single best stack. The best stack is the one that actually lines up with what you're passionate about and where you want to go. Because at the end of the day, success comes from getting really good at something, and you only get good at something you're genuinely interested in. So, there you have it. You've seen the players, you've seen the comparisons, and you've seen the careers they can lead to. Now the only question left is the one that only you can answer. Which path are you going to take? Which one of these stacks are you going to build your future on?